I sensed God just saying, in this moment, while you really don't know what I'm asking of you, I want you to say yes. And I just said, okay, Lord.
Jessica and Mike Ptomey were thrilled to be the parents of 2 boys. Now expecting their 3rd child was no different.
It was exciting. We were, we're ready to have another kid. They thought maybe it might be a girl, but they couldn't get a good look.
But with Jessica now in her 2nd trimester, the ultrasound didn't confirm the gender. Instead, it showed the baby's growth was 4 weeks behind, and Jessica's amniotic fluid was low. Their doctor told them the baby would not survive.
He said, whenever the heartbeat stops, we'll have to just, you're so far along, we'll have to induce you and deliver a dead baby. I don't think there's any way you can really at all prepare for that kind of news as a mom. And I remember obviously being so sad, but to be quite honest, I was terrified.
That was the hardest thing for me. The idea that there was still going to be a birth. The baby was going to be delivered, it was going to not be alive. That was really, really, really heavy.
Back at work, Mike managed to keep his emotions in check. But later that night,
everyone was asleep, and it was the first time I was by myself with the news, and I just laid on the floor and I just cried.
now their focus shifted from getting the baby room ready to planning a funeral. The couple shared the news with family and friends, asking them to pray for comfort and strength.
It's like, Lord, how could I possibly live through that experience? I can't even honestly imagine anything more horrible. And I just knew that I was going to have supernatural strength to be able to get over that fear.
Then came the task of telling their oldest son, 4-year-old Tyler.
Said, you know, this baby is not growing in mommy's tummy, and it looks like he's gonna die and he's gonna go be with Jesus in heaven, and we're all gonna be very sad and miss him. And his response was, well, I'm not gonna let that happen. I'm gonna lock all the doors.
Over the next few days, the couple still struggled to accept the news, especially since the baby was still alive. That is, until Jessica read an article about a woman's miraculous healing from cancer through prayer.
I remember just having this sense of peace that, all right, Lord, the baby is not dead yet, and I just feel called to pray in accordance with your will. You always ask us to ask you for things. And I said, I'm just asking you for a miracle.
Although struggling with doubt and fear, Mike came alongside his wife, asking for a miracle. Over the next week, their community enveloped the Ptomeys in prayer.
It was everything to have other people pray and to join you in prayer and to see the body of Christ come together, regardless of their denominational background. It was beautiful.
Jessica also attended a special healing prayer service with a friend.
That was a moment of spiritual healing for me. Sitting there, kneeling in the pew, waiting my turn to go be prayed for, I wasn't afraid anymore.
Then, a couple of days later, Jessica had another ultrasound. The baby's heart was still beating.
I had such a peace that, okay, Lord, whatever your will is here, I'm good with it. But there was a lot of hope.
And that hope grew. So much, in fact, that Jessica asked her friends to pray not just for peace and comfort, but that her amniotic fluid would increase and that the baby would double in size. Then 2 weeks after getting the bad news, Jessica went in for another ultrasound.
He was like, this is really weird. The baby's actually doubled in size. And then I knew exactly what he was about to say next. And the amniotic fluid has increased. The doctor said, I don't have any explanation for you. I said, we don't need an explanation. We've had a lot of people praying for us. I said, well, whoever's praying for you, can they pray for me too?
I love the expression on the nurses and doctor's face compared to when it was the bad news, because they're still perplexed. All of a sudden, the story has changed. It was unbelievable.
There was one brief scare when Jessica got an infection at 6 months, but again, with prayer, she and the baby pulled through. Then on June 26th, Samuel Gerard Ptomey was born at full term, a little small at 5 pounds 9 ounces, but perfectly healthy.
I don't think I even have words to express the emotion that I felt of seeing that baby that I had prayed for. He's so tiny and just so precious, but so perfect.
So to see him, it was transformational. It was wonderful. It was the best.
By his 1-month checkup, Samuel had gained 3 pounds. A few years later, Mike and Jessica went on to have a little girl, Stella. Today, Samuel is a healthy, happy little boy. But Mike and Jessica say that's not the only miracle God performed.
The biggest miracle that happened was the miracle that God did inside of my heart before he healed my baby, and that he made me okay with whatever it was that was going to happen.
It's beautiful that God allowed us to have this child and gifted us with this. But the real transformation is knowing that we have a good God who loves us. The only thing that really matters is our relationship with him.